Hello everyone, I've come outside today out of my basement, taking a little break from eBay, and I'm going to do a little bit of scrapping. I got this AC and a AC coil from inside the furnace. I got those things a couple days ago. I'm going to just finally take them apart, make a little bit of money. So, I'll show you how I do it, and it's quite simple. These AC units are probably one of the best things you'll come across for the average scrapper. If you ever find these or get a call to pick one of these things up, they're worth quite a bit of money, depending on what your idea of what a bit of money is, of course, but definitely worth money in scrap value. Resale value, it's not. Don't have any resale value except for scrap. A couple brass valves down there. You got this great big AC coil that goes all the way around the furnace, the air conditioner unit. And in there you got a big motor in there with a whole bunch of copper attached to it. And then this thing, of course, this is from the furnace plenum. This is the AC coil that has a lot of copper attached to it. And you also have the aluminum copper rads, just like they're the same value as the big one down here. So I'll show you how I take them apart. It's really quite simple. You just got to start unscrewing. You just want to get yourself a drill with a little hex bit on it. This is a 1/4 inch hex bit, and you just start unscrewing all these screws. There we have it. Now we're on to the big boy. Lots of screws around here. Again, it's 1/4 inch hex. You just want to start taking off all these screws. Half inch. Big lugs off. Now we'll drop the motor right down in. Just want to check these lugs on the magnet. They might be brass. Okay, there's lots of different ways you can take apart these motors. This is what I've been doing lately. I've already taken off one bolt. Now you want to get your vice grip on the bottom bolt here, just so that it's not going to spin. On the other side, you take your screwdriver, bolt will come right off. And you do that with the other bolts. That's it. And we just take our hammer right off. There we have it. So, a lot of nice copper in there. From here, I would do is get an angle grinder, make a slit there, and then it will just pop. Sorry, I'm bleeding there. It would just pop right open. Just pop, and this whole case would come off. Then you're just left with this this core. And then you can get a Sawzall or some other thing and just cut off this piece. And then you pull it out with either a big wrench or something. I like to work with these on a bench vise. That's that. And there we have it. That's what we get from the motor. That's cast aluminum. This is cast aluminum as well. There's some aluminum on that. Aluminum on the fins. So this is not worth taking apart at all. Maybe your yard will give you irony price for that. Mine, I might check with mine, just because they probably will. But I would assume that there's too much steel on this to consider it to be irony. It would just be considered shreddable steel. That you can clean up those pretty easily. There's just a metal bearing in there, and this thing just pops right off. But I don't do those anymore. I don't waste my time. I just throw that in with aluminum irony as well. And of course you got that. Okay, we are going to continue on. There's some screws on the bottom here that are holding on this cage. There we have a electric motor, transformer, whatever you want to call it, switch, relay switch. You can actually get some money off of eBay off of these. This one's a bit rusty. It's not really that great. There's also some, if you're into collecting silver contacts, there's some silver contacts on these guys that are pretty big. And then you got your aluminum capacitor. Most often those will still be good, and again you can resell those. They're not worth very much. Some are, but some are pretty cheap on eBay. So if check out the model number, and you might get some resale value out of those. Otherwise, you got electric motor and dirty aluminum, I guess. Some yards will take that as, and a little baby bit of copper there. Take that off, and insulated wire, and shreddable steel. Next, these brass valves are being held on by some screws. These are kind of neat. I mean, if you have like some small animals that you want to keep on the yard or something, you could probably sell that as like a, well, not sell it, but keep it as you know, chicken fence, or if you have some bunny rabbits or something, I don't know. We're almost ready to take this AC coil off. Just gotta clip it off here. All the ACs that I get have had the gas reclaimed, so I never have to worry about gas. Yeah, if it still has gas in it, you might want to talk to somebody about getting rid of it before you cut the line. All right, ready? These motors come with these jackets on it. You can take those off or leave it on. You know, I'll just take it off just for the video. That's garbage. All right, now you're left with a little bit of copper on the motor. Oh, I forgot a screw there. So what you want to do, take a hatchet, and bang it right there. I want to do it with the bottom one as well. You're going to start, you might get some of this green oil crap coming out. So you want to be careful of that. So yeah, you got a brass valve and a nice piece of copper too. Okay, and yeah, after that, there's not much else after this. Take that off. Get yourself some insulated wire. So what you're left with is the motor itself, and there is a copper bearing motor inside. But a lot of yards don't take those. Check with your yard first. They might take this whole unit as a copper bearing motor. Mine doesn't. I don't think there's anywhere in Canada that does take those. Otherwise, you got yourself a nice piece of shred steel. The little clip is stainless steel, I believe. Next thing I do is I stretch out these coils. Make them all flat. That's it. And that's ready for processing. This is where I process the rods just here in the back of my truck. I like to do it in the back of the truck because I'm going to be cutting off all these copper ends, and they go flying. And when they go flying, you might not be able to find them again. So I like to just do it in the back there. That way you're keeping all the little pieces contained in one area, more or less. You'll still get some flying out. So these are the tools that I use. I got an angle grinder with a grinding blade, not a cut-off blade. It's just a regular miter saw with it's just a regular wood blade. Last year I did, I keep track of all my numbers, on how much money I make and stuff. So last year I made about $1,800 or $1,700 or $1,800 just on these rods alone. And that equals roughly about 1,800 pounds of rad. So I used this single blade for all last year. I didn't change it or anything. So it's dull, but it's still working. And you can use a different kind of blade if you want. I've seen some guys will use like big concrete gas-powered saws, which is great. I just find those kind of blades, like the bigger, thinner ones like this, those just wear out so fast. And these metal ones, they do the trick. So after I cut off the ends with this, then I go over and use this and grind, and I'll grind off the. I'll cut them off. And then I'll use the angle grinder and I'll just smooth it all out. That way this metal piece will just pop off nice and easy. If you don't use an angle grinder and you try to pop this off after you cut these off, you'll never get it off. It'll be a huge pain. So that's what I use those tools. And of course, just a hammer to pop off the metal cap. And you don't want to do this without protecting yourself. I got a full face shield, ear protection. Most importantly, well, these two, probably the most important. Most importantly, protect your lungs. You're going to get a lot of dust flying up. And, if you're just going to do like one or two and you don't want to bother, fine, whatever. But highly, highly suggest you don't do this without protecting your eyes, ears, and lungs. I've done it before without using this, and it's not fun waking up in the middle of the night. You can't catch your breath. Trust me. So protect yourself. It's not worth it. Okay. So without further ado, let's get started. I'm gonna be all muffled up, so you won't hear me talking, but I'll show you how I do it. we're all done. That last shot didn't work out quite as I planned, and my battery ended up dying, but you guys get the point on how to do those. I'll show you what we got today. We got that motor, this capacitor. I just looked up on eBay. You get about $20 for that capacitor. That I didn't look up. You probably get a little bit for it if it was in better condition. That one's all rusted up. It still works, of course, but might not be worth it. And a little bit of copper too. A lot of nice pieces. You could probably go through that a bit and find some copper number 1 in there. Those are all the cutoffs. So it does add up. One piece isn't that heavy, but put them all together and you start getting some good weight. A little bit of brass valves. Those are the pieces from the motor. Aluminum irony. Just a little bit of insulated copper wire. Here's the rads. So they probably, I don't know, maybe about 30 pounds or so of rads. So these ones worked out really well getting the ends off. As you saw, you just take the angle grinder and you just grind off the rough ends. A couple of the pieces just fell right off without me even having to use a hammer. And we got all the shred steel. And you have to deal with that. These things are very heavy. Trying to get that into the truck. Sometimes what I'll do is I'll just take the motor off of this base plate just to handle, so it's easier to handle. And those are the cutoffs from the rads. And that's about it. So, guys, thanks for watching. Hopefully this gives you some ideas on how to handle these things. And hopefully you find some out there in your scrapping. Have a great day.